Hello and welcome to another scene set in this episode of Howling Winds. I'm getting faster at saying that. Today we set our scene on the training grounds where perhaps where two of the more physically prominent members of the Sept are, both of which are Guardians, if I'm correct. One of which has been Guardian for a fair amount of time, and the other one who's just attained his position on a fairly probationary basis are training the day away, quite literally smashing the hell out of punching bags and probably practicing with any amount of faux weaponry that might be on hand. Abel, for his part, is engaging in hand-to-hand, which is something he's better at than held weapons and any form of firearm you could possibly imagine. Good God, don't try and give him a gun. He knows nothing about firearm safety. But yes, he is slowly grinding that punching bag into dust. He seems to be faster than he is strong.
What kind of melee score does he have?
4.
Melee?
So he's melee. He has 1.
Okay.
Brawl he has 4. Firearms, God no, please. Like, may as well be -1.
Okay, because Gabby could easily show you simple firearm safety, and she's probably more trained with bows and arrows, so she'll show you how to use those, or at least tell you the parts of them and the basics and basics of melee as well. She is a little bit higher with melee, but we got the same brawl, and she seems she's got boxing gear with her. That's her thing.
Yeah, he doesn't seem quite as adept at hand-to-hand as you. And he does deign to go through his training regime, takes him through pretty much, actually, literally every form he has in his every form a Garu has, and he seems far more adept at wielding his natural weaponry than anything else. He's definitely talented with his claws.
Good to know. I don't know if we actually want to do sparring rolls or not.
Yeah, we can if you want. I mean, Abel would be up for it. In fact, he'd encourage it because he wants to fight against people who are as strong, if not stronger than he is.
Okay, so I'll go to the dice rolling scenes, the first one.
Yeah, I'll just tag that so actually people know we're scening. One moment. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's general chat. Don't want to do that there. Okay. Oh yeah, you're a Guardian, so you get -1 difficulty to all fighting rolls made on set.
Are you not also a Guardian?
Yeah, we're both Guardians, so we're both rolling -5 because we're gods of war.
So my initiative is 16.
I think your initiative, I can't beat your initiative because I only have 3 decks and 2 wits. Yeah, so I will be going on 11, so you go first.
Sweet. All right. Let's do some, let's see, what do I got? We're in Hamid?
Yeah, Hamid.
Easy enough. That means...
I don't want us to be killing each other.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just not any lethal damage, just bashing damage. All right, so let's do yeah, let's just we're just doing punch face, so I won't do like a grapple or anything because it's more fun if we're just punching each other. 3, 7.
Yeah.
So I have 2.
Well,
So strength +1.
it's just strength plus your successes minus
Yeah,
1.
which is 1.
Which is...
Because I have 1 over, so...
You got 1, 6, 7, 7, yes, it's just... Oh no! You hit him, but it doesn't... It kind of glances off him. It's a glancing blow. You hit
no,
him,
because 1s don't take away from damage in this game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. No, I'm being stupid. I will
So,
have a roll my stamina. Oh, and yeah, you do hit him. You bop him.
I boop the snoot.
You boop the snoot, as it were.
And I'm not going to worry about, like, rage actions, because we both have the same amount of rage, so, like...
Yeah.
we're just doing snoot booping.
While they're fighting, Abel will comment. You look pretty tough. You train hard?
My whole life.
Birds of a feather, I guess. Ha! He doesn't hit you.
We want to do until how many health levels do we have in this game? 7?
7? Yeah, just do it until something like mold.
All right,
it's not crippled. Crippled is like really bad, but mold.
Yeah, exactly. But also,
it literally
it's just bashing.
It's bashing. Like they heal it pretty fast. Even in your breed form, you heal pretty quickly. Man, you smash his face.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know why, because we're both rolling the same amount of dice to hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm rolling 10. No, that's wrong. I'm rolling 9 because 4 plus.
Got it. You gotta hit your roll hard. You do. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, I'm stopping after that.
I soak 2, so I only take 3, so I get knocked down to wounded, I think, which takes away 2 dice from my next roll. Oh, 4 successes. He actually gets a good blow in despite his wounds. Yeah, you hit him really hard. Like, really hard. Wouldn't be surprised if there were a fracture on that. His...
It's just bashing. You'll heal it.
You'll heal it. It's more like subdual damage, but it's still like kind of...
Oh, wait, was that...
blood out of his mouth.
That was your damage roll, right?
That was my attack roll, so I'm on strength +3, which is only 5d10 for me. Oh, I do 3. Oh, no, I do 4. I should not do the X6F1. I'm using the old rules, which is silly.
So I soak 2? Because I don't think once... Wait, once might take away from soak. I don't remember.
No, I think it doesn't take away from either. Particularly because it wouldn't really make sense, because neither are actually action rolls. You're not taking an action.
Yeah. So I soak 2, so I take 2.
Yeah, so he knocks you down to hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. More punchy. Take that away. 1, 2, 3. So...
Oh, you take away 1 success because you're hurt, so you take away a dice from your attack roll, unless you spend willpower.
Ooh, you're right. Thanks. I can't do math. So yeah, I only have 2 over, so we'll just knock off that dice on the end, if that's cool with you.
Let's chill.
Okay, so that's 2.
The knock off the 1. Side-eye.
Yeah. So that means I just have 2 over, so that means I just do 1 over my strength. That's 3.
Oh, let me check the health levels real quick, because you might just knock him down. Yeah. Should have just had the bloody book up. Right, stupid.
I mean, it's not like this isn't like a life or death combat. This is just fun combat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he has to. I think he has to soak all of this, so he gets knocked down to mold. Or he might just not surrender because he's a dick. Who knows? No F1s. Just equal to 6. Hey, you give him another lug and he's pretty badly smashed up. he can still stand. But yeah, he will. Well, he won't put his arms up because that's a terrible thing to do in like hand-to-hand combat, even if it's sparring.
Yeah, no, keep your hands in front of your face, man.
super dangerous. So he won't do that. He'll just back off slowly, and so I think you've laid a good number on me. You want to call it there?
Sure. And she'll probably there's probably just like a little trickle of blood, so she'll just smear that off her face and be like, "You gotten a good hit, though."
Yeah, not nearly good enough.
You're getting there. You were able to hit me. That's something.
True, I could have pushed a bit harder, but I mean,
No,
we're
don't.
not actually in a challenge.
Exactly. Don't push yourself too hard in the training ring.
Wouldn't
push yourself, but don't overexert yourself.
Wouldn't be me I'd be pulling on, and I don't want to pull that person into the debate.
So she'll go over and like grab water bottles and toss one to him.
Thanks. He will. One moment. As I want to be cool, but I didn't do the thing properly, so I'm just gonna do it right now. In a slapdash job, you basically see him take 5 and shift up to Glabro, so the wounds heal off basically in about 10 seconds. He looks all gnarly and shit and ugly and stuff.
Awesome, awesome.
But then he'll shift back down and looks normal again. Oh. Sorry, we didn't get to know each other. Well, I didn't get to introduce myself properly to you. Back at the other guy's intro.
It's all right. I think fighting someone is the best way to get to know them. Or fighting with them, fighting alongside them you don't have to fight against them. I don't suppose.
No, I agree. Honestly, in a lot of occasions, I've gotten to know better people by fighting them than just by talking with them. People are laid bare when they put their hands on the table, or cards on the table, sorry.
It's true.
Unless you're a Shadow Lord, but that's just unfair.
Well, do you want to go over the plans, or do you want to chill for a second?
Well, we can go over the plans in a bit. Could just take a moment to cool down first.
Sure.
So, are you from around here, or did you travel here like me?
Yeah, my sister and I were from Greece. Or at least we were raised most of our lives there.
Interesting. What region?
Oh, the Black Fury Sept, because...
Insert name.
Yes. I'm sure it has a name. It might even be on my character sheet, but...
To be fair, not necessarily all Black Fury Septs are even supposed to be public knowledge due to the fact that they're supposed to hide the wild places away.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are not necessarily known. He'll just kind of nod. See, that's a hell of a journey. What drove you here?
Well, it's a bit of a long story. It's essentially what happened was we came here to learn more about our Uktena heritage up in Canada, and then after that, my sister was really a lot better at that than I was. So after a little bit up there, we decided to come back to basically any sept in America, because that's where our mothers were originally born.
See, I grew up most of my life on the East Coast. Not not quite the paradise it seems. Grew up on 1 second as I look it up. Look at that one. It's Sept of the Awakening. Used to be dominated by bone gnawers, but Fenrir took it over some decades ago.
What state is it in?
When I left, it was under heavy siege. A lot of retaliation from Wormish forces.
I was talking about like Virginia, West Virginia,
Oh.
Florida, but no, that's also important. That did all the denizens leave when it was under siege?
Oh, pardon, what? Sorry, OC, what did you say? Something about under siege?
Yeah, she asked if everyone left.
Oh no, they're still there fighting a good fight. Karen's not abandoned at all. It's just, we made a lot of fire, drew a lot of fire. Well, long story. But hey, I'm a Gaeliad, I'm all for stories. I came on family business too, but it's a bit different. Reason I left my sept is because my family's been attracted the attention of a pretty dangerous and old leech for quite a while now. It was one of the main reasons Arcan was under so much pressure, and considering it was specifically under my after my family in particular, we had to go, or rather, it was only a matter of time, because they have to prioritize the safety of the sept over us. So I just decided to make the call before they had to. Better that we get a head start.
I hope you can return someday.
Who knows? Maybe I'll find my place here. But those leeches, they've never stopped trying, so it's only a matter of time before they make their way over here. Trying to make as many people as aware as possible so they don't get bull rushed by a bunch of angry nightcrawlers.
I'll be going to search them out for my, not my challenge, for Adelheid's challenge that I've taken on.
Had something about Gaian leeches.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I mean, you hear things sometimes, but it's always the same story. Worm likes to play games. I don't have time for games. So I stopped the games. Semester. Can should be doing better now that I left. It's actually in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice place. But didn't get to see much of it. Was under lock and key most of my life due to the whole leech thing.
Do the elders here know about it?
I've been informing people, yeah. So if someone gets blindsided, they can't blame me. They can't say I didn't warn them. I'm just hoping that this so-called Gaian leech can get me the means to get rid of them. Because if we're all going to go and pretend to be holier than foul, which they aren't, they may as well be useful.
I have no idea what's going to happen.
I'm just going to not talk and let someone else do the talking. And then if they try something, I'm going to maul them.
Aren't you supposed to be good at talking?
Not to leeches. Leeches, I'm very good at ashing. Weird, though. Some of them, like, one of them was rude. Story my first change that I basically snuck out of the bloody house. Because I've been running back at my old high school. I was running a band practice sort of thing. Didn't get permission to do my little debut. Did it anyway. Leeches followed me there, tracked me around backstage, and well, story kind of tells itself from there.
That's horrible.
Sometimes our bodies were returned to us. Other times the leeches took on their faces and messed around for a while before we figured it out.
What was high school like? I hear stories and on TV shows, but...
Never been to high school?
Well, we were tutored on Sept.
I mean, people were pretty scared of me, but
Was it like in the movies where the cheerleaders and the football players wear the uniforms all the time?
Yes, they do. They do wear the uniforms all the time. It's annoying as hell.
That's so funny.
It's strangely like a sept in a way. There's some sort of invisible pecking order that everyone expects you to follow, and it frustrates the hell out of me.
So there's like the elders and the cubs.
Well, it's kind of like a weird mix. You have like all the jocks and the fucking popular kids at like the top of the totem pole, and then you have like all the scrawny kids at the bottom. You know, a bunch of in-betweens. I guess what you'd like they called them normies, whatever the fuck. And then you have like this hierarchy of like, yeah, you got the first years, the freshers and the seniors.
It does sound like a sept weirdly.
It's a very strange and alien circle jerk. Because I thought it would be much more relaxed. I mean, I couldn't really be relaxed, but perhaps that's why I felt that way, because I felt I was a bit of an outsider looking in despite being there. Had a few friends. People who mattered, who could deal with the rage and all that. But they're not really around anymore. Bandmates were around for the first change, so that didn't really end well for anybody.
And she looks like she's like, I mean, she's making like a sympathetic face, and she's looking down, and she like starts to reach out, and she's like, nope, that's awkward, not doing that. she'll just kind of say, I'm sorry, I have no idea what that would be like. I can only imagine.
And at that point, I was pretty used to it. I was just kind of happy I changed and didn't die. I'd already lost a brother and uncle and several members of the extended family by that point. So it's not like I was not used to it. But that's the game. Well, that's the life we're in, so no point complaining about the cards I've been dealt. After that, It was quickly brought onto set because they kind of always knew the fact that people were scared of me and all the usual signs were there. They didn't expect me to sneak out. It took me literally walking back to home with a very quick changing clothes. Fortunately, the leech dressed well. And fortunately, they turn to dust when they die, which is a fun fact. But yeah, I got brought back there, and well, then I was taught my tribe's ways largely. Tutored on set like you from that point. Did a lot of fighting. A lot of singing. A lot of it's old school now, though. Used to be more into the speed metal. Not so much anymore.
She looks a little surprised at that.
It's kind of hard to adapt millennia-old songs into guitar riffs.
I don't know. Have you met Lefty? He plays guitar.
Yeah. I'm actually more of a vocalist than a guitarist, but yeah, no. But we could make the quite a fearsome duo. Already got the opportunity to sing one tale on Sept here of Kyle's challenge. Bleeding Fires. I need to get used to calling him the bloody name I gave him. Yeah. I guess when I was on Sept, it was all fairly normal. Perhaps more, I don't know how militant yours was, but I mean, with Fenrir, we're an army. No time for scurrying around or being soft. You have to have your head in the game 110% because people need you.
Yeah, I don't think ours was.
Sorry.
I don't think ours was quite that militant to that extent. But we were treated like we were held to, well, I would say impossible standards, but my sister easily met them. So I guess they weren't impossible.
Hey, you beat me in a fight.
It's probably thanks to Adelheid. He and I trained constantly as soon as we both got here.
Hey, if I could pick up where he left off, I'd be proud. He certainly taught you well enough. Hopefully you can pass on a few of his teachings. Some of your own, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know our tribes tend to not always get along for whatever reason.
You're a Trimbenson. Our people have history together. Our families, at least.
That's cool. I mean, I was on the other side of the country, so I don't really know too much about that stuff.
I don't either, but all I know is that Adelheid thought that he and I were made to be in a pack together. So apparently our relatives were good friends.
Hey. I'm all for new friends. I have enough of those. He goes silent for a moment and then looks up towards the sky. Actually, there is one thing. You know how I said it was about bringing someone else into the debate?
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the only really extraordinary thing on set that ever happened to me. You ever had the tale of the skythroat?
Of the what?
The skythroat.
And she looks like she's thinking, and it takes a while, and she's like, should I have?
You absolutely should have, but that's fine because it gives me a chance to tell the story.
I could have been taught it and just wasn't paying attention. I'm really good at not paying attention during my lessons. At least when they were not the fighting kind of lessons.
Well, I'll make this worth listening to. You know how Fianna claimed that they have the best galleons of all time ever, right? Well, there is one that stands above them all. And proved it to literally everyone and everything at the time that was watching. And good God, a lot of people were watching. So the Skythroat was a Fenrir that lived sometime before the Common Era, just after the Germanic people had expanded from Scandinavia. So I think they went into the Gothic tribes of humanity at the time during the period of antiquity. No one actually knows what she was called before she was called the Skythroat, but at the end of the day, we don't need to know. She was a legend. People at the time said her voice was like an echo that trickled from a brook and then would just crash like lightning from a cloud. Said she turned the Gothic kings into turning good, caused the Roman emperors to flee in terror. But that's actually not the tale at all. None of them. The one we all remember her for is when she drew Luna down to Earth. The Fenrir had been fighting with the Fianna in Europe for some time over rights to a particular cairn. It's now called Luna's Forest of Glory. First, it just been a matter of simple challenges. Fighting, largely. Combat. What everyone's used to, what everyone knew was traditional, what everyone knew worked. But every time someone made a challenge, every time someone lost, they'd each accuse the other side of cheating. Which isn't really conducive to getting the matter resolved. And first blood had already been spilled, so it looked like everyone was going to start killing each other. But then one Fianna Galliard had an idea. They said, we can settle this once and for all. Not a contest of fight, not a battle to the death. Contest of the voice. Some of the Fenrir, particularly the older ones, argued that the Fianna were afraid of the superiority of the Fenrir warriors. That the Galli's challenge was just some last-ditch effort to fight the Fenrir on their own terms rather than on theirs, to prove their salt, to act outside of their comfort zone and prove their worth. Legend holds that Fianna even taunted the entirety of the Fenrir into fury to try and goad them into the challenge so that they couldn't win. But they didn't know about the Skythroat at the time, who was more than happy to accept this challenge and even convinced her elders to allow her to do so. And with due respect, both Galliards were immense, including the Fianna Galliard. Because the challenge was not to craft a sweeter song, but to achieve a more wondrous feat through the power of voice. It wasn't a simple challenge, it wasn't about singing. So the Fianna began, and his voice was so enchanting that it rolled through the valleys and dug deep into the earth. And everywhere it could be heard, erupted a great forest. And sowed the seeds of life throughout the entire camp. It was magnificent. The Arun of the Fenrir grew even more cautious at this. They started to doubt the wisdom of those who gave the Skyfra her blessing, and for the wisdom of the Skyfra herself for accepting. Until she started singing. It said it was the most beautiful song anyone has ever heard and ever will be. It said all who listened were sure from the very first note that this was the voice used by Gaia when she created the world. That her deed was channeling that pure beauty. But that was just a start. That was just a howl. Her song, just as the Fianna called forth a great forest, called a great mountain to rise up around the cairn in the forest. And then she called out to the moon, and Luna in all her glory descended from the skies and bathed every Garu in her blessed light that day. And what the humans witnessed on that day, what they speak of, is the moon sinking out of the skies and landing on top of the mountains as a throne, and would later rise up again. And the Fianna awarded the Skyfolk victory with all respect, but because of Luna's influence, both the Fenrir and the Fianna offered to share the cairn of each other and rule it together. And to this day, the Sept of Luna's forest glory is the strongest tie between both tribes, all thanks to two Galliards. And they say all the Aruns made the decision in our tribe.
That's quite a story.
Ties back into my own story. It was having the opportunity to meet her. I don't know why she still speaks to me, but she does. I'm not sure if I told you my deed name. I'm called Luna's Glimpse.
I've never heard of anyone who, well, never heard of anyone with the rank of Cleoth, let's say, who Luna would speak to.
Oh, well, the Skythroat isn't Luna. She's an ancestor spirit for Fenrir. She just sang a song so beautiful that Luna literally joined the show.
I see, that's why it's Luna's Glimpse.
Took the mountain as her seat. Well, she's called the Skythroat because of what she did. I'm called Luna's Glimpse because on my rite of passage I attempted to emulate that. Which was foolish of me, because how could I ever attempt to emulate the actions of a legend as a cub?
But you passed it. That must mean you did something cool.
Well, there was a time when I was a cub and I was just, well, vocal exercises. I was an angsty kid. And I just noticed her standing there after I was done. We had a lot of long talks. I wanted to be like her so desperately. Because she was an honest-to-God hero. In everything that she was.
You said wanted, past tense.
I'm called Luna's Glimpse because my rite of passage was, well, it's a Galliard challenge. You go out, you kill something, you sing about it. I wanted to go further than that. I want to make that song so damn beautiful that it drew Luna out. Sang my fucking heart out. For a moment, it looked like the moon shifted. So they called me Luna's Glimpse. And every time a Fenrir passes a challenge, right, there's like a giant party afterwards. You think the Fiona can drink. But I never really attended because I was so angry at myself. I mean, all I could garner was a glance. The person I looked up to most in the world literally drew her down from the sky. Literally changed the world. Literally. And I told her about that, and I told her how angry I was with myself and how much I doubted myself, and she told me to shut the fuck up because I'm a Fenrir and I should hold myself to a higher standard than just doubting myself all the time. Because I need to be certain of myself. And what I was thinking was fucking dumb. She was right. So now I don't want to be like her, I want to be better than her. I was holding myself to the accomplishments of someone else, but ignoring every other standard that I've been taught to reach and uphold. I'd let that sunk into my head. And I'd let it cloud my judgment.
That's an incredibly noble goal of you.
Thanks. I know I had a really rough intro with Fat. I mean, I'm just gonna call him an asshole because I don't like him and I don't trust him.
I call him Fluffy Grandpa, but never to his face.
Oh god, no, not punches all the faces. I mean, that dude called Jesse.
Oh, sorry.
The guy who thinks he's a
Yeah.
Cody and not a Garu.
I haven't met him, or I mean, got to know him well enough really yet.
I mean, Sierra's a very apt negotiator, which is why I'm giving him a shot. Because, I mean, if he acted the way he did on a Fenrir sept, he would have gotten his ass kicked really hard. In fact, there's a good chance he just would not be allowed onto the sept. Because he was being evasive about where he was from, and, well, not where he was from, but why he came here to begin with. Especially if we're at war. And a lot of times, as is no surprise to most people, the Fenrir are often at war. So we're pretty strict about cairn security. I mean, most tribes are, but we're more so than most. Until punches all the faces, but I personally think he's taking an extremely liberal interpretation of Fenrir values at best to let him in. At worst, I'm not going to actually state that. But I mean, we're not on a Fenrir sept, so...
I was gonna say, I wouldn't hold everyone on the sept to do exactly as my tribe says. It's not... He wasn't raised on a Fenrir sept.
No. I was just kind of perturbed at how lax everyone was about it. I think he also grates on me a little bit, honestly, just because we're more alike than that he might even realize. The only reason I realize it is because he gave me a very specific piece of information. Or if there's a very stark difference between us, other than our similarities of running across an entire country to run from something. That's neither here nor there, really. But yeah, that's my story. Hold myself to impossible goals forever and always. Because it's worth a shot, right?
I was going to say I know a little bit of what it's like to hold yourself to. Or to compare yourself, I guess, with someone else. But yours is a little bit more extreme than mine.
Oh, go ahead, everyone. It's the story. I'm built to retell them.
I can't quite weave them as they give us can, but it's my sister. Her name is Alex. She's pretty much like me. We're twins, but she was born 10 minutes before I was. And that's kind of just been our whole life story. She's always been 10 minutes ahead, or I don't know. Just that little step ahead, that little step better. That's not anywhere near holding yourself to standard of a legend, but I kind of get it.
No, I can understand that feeling. I was not exactly the firstborn son of my family. I was just the lucky one that got the change. It sucks being in someone else's shadow for most of your life. But hey, in my opinion, you're doing alright for yourself. I wouldn't consider you in anyone's shadow.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, now I largely came here to actually not just help my own, like my old sept out, but I mean, I say to help my own sept out. It is selfish in its intent, because I know that wherever I go, ultimately I'm carrying baggage that puts a sept in danger. But similar to how you came here to figure out your Octana heritage, I actually came here to reunite with some of my own family, like Adelheid, who then has to leave a month in.
There are other Trimbinsons here.
Who knows? Maybe I'll meet a new family here. Hell, maybe my soulmate ends up being a fury for whatever reason. I happen to go against all convention and get along very well with them. Yeah. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm, what's it, giving you the Fenrir spiel. Especially on Utena / Chardagar sept.
No, I am not the best at remembering tribe history. A refresher is probably going to be helpful.
Well, I know a fair bit about most tribes, or at least the deeds of most prominent figures among them, not necessarily the tribe culture in general. For example, you have the up-and-coming prince of the Saw Fangs, Jonas Albrecht. Gone off on a little street, gone off on quite a few street-level adventures. Inspired a lot of Aryans of his tribe to do the same. Used to be all up and high and mighty in ivory towers. Has a pact with a Fury Elder, I think. And you got Gene Reader, Glasswalkers. She's actually a Galliard too, although as her name states, she's a Gene Reader. She's more into the science of it. Never met her, but she has quite the reputation for someone who's only a foster. The way she's talked about, you'd think she'd be an elder. Yeah. But if there's anything I can do to help this, I mean, I'm better at it with my tribe, obviously, and I'm biased because I'm a Fenrir, but I'm pretty good at deconstructing tribe stereotypes because I've gotten to know quite a bit of the history. Contrary to popular belief, not all Shadow Lords are ruthless Eastern European assholes, and not all Silverfangs are uptight ivory tower Russians. Just a lot of them. Fiona still have that thing with Menace, though.
My tribe has that thing with guys.
I haven't met many Furies who have gone off the deep end with that. Maybe that's why I get along with you guys so much better. For the most part, all of you seem pretty reasonable. I mean, my tribe did not do good things to the Wendigo, but there comes a point where if you're just going to sit on your hands while there's a war to be fought, then, I mean, that's not helping anyone. Not even yourself. Don't hate them. Acknowledge the wrong, but you're not helping anyone or yourself by just sitting there grumping around. You can grump around and help. It is possible. Then again, don't really meet many Wendigos south of the border. Most of them are up in Canada, from what I hear. Met the full breadth of the cocky spectrum, though. Jesus Christ. They are less diverse than you'd expect. Like, in terms of ethnic background, sure. But in terms of outlook, Jesus.
Sounds like you've had a lot more exposure to all the tribes than my sister and I ever got.
Traveling across the country did me some good. Got me out of my echo chamber. The thing with cockies is that you can meet one that is genuinely the perfect situation. The only sane man in the room. The guy that really does deserve to be heard. And is actually willing to take the necessary steps to be heard. he doesn't want to hurt people, but if he has to challenge someone to get their attention, then that's what he's going to do, because that's the steps you need to make change and actually make peace, as his tribe wants to do. And then you have the ones which are just superior. You know, they kind of act like they know it all, but they're very impotent because they aren't willing to do what they need to do. They sit there lecturing people but aren't willing to understand the problem. Like the Fenrir, the Fionn, and Shadow Lords understand why they can't be friends with the Uktena and the Wendigo, and the Wendigo and Uktena definitely understand why they can't be friends with us. A lot of them seem to think you can just fix it overnight, and others just seem to be intent on taking the moral high ground on every situation without actually doing anything. They'll just lecture you, be a pretentious arsehole, and move on. In many ways, they're more toxic than anyone else out of any of our tribe, to even my own. And we're pretty, you know, we are blunt. We are to the point. We're straight and narrow. We're straight as an arrow. Mainly because we need to hit the target, but you know, we generally don't play tons of games with people. Our Ragabashers do, like any other tribe, like any other Ragabash, but time for that. So, I guess part of me respects your child guy, but part of me, I have to be honest, suspects them in a way.
Well, you did come to a sept largely populated by them.
Jointly run by Uktena, who knew how to keep people grounded. Believe it or not, the Fenrir actually have a healthy respect for the Wendigo. Uktena in general. You won't say Wendigo, because the Fenrir really fucking hate the Wendigo. They have a purpose that they stick to, and they haven't let Vents get in the way of that. Even in spite of all the terrible things that happened to them, including from us, they never let that stop them. And that implies a great deal of strength, that for all our focus on strength, even we have to respect that. Yeah. I think it's because the Fenrir have my tribe have a history of being subject to stereotypes quite a lot. To a pretty extremist extent in some places. Because it's quite easy to paint like and we have a history of being kind of conservative, a traditionalist tribe, right? In many ways. And that bleeds over into politics. Which is something our tribe has been dealing with, unfortunately, is more or less just mopping up at the moment. But it makes it easier to label us. Which is funny, because that's the thing, though, very individuals are supposed to be talking down. It's hypocritical, I guess, is what I'm saying. We get labeled a lot by people who are talking people down for issuing others with labels. Which I'm not really okay with. And frankly, if it wasn't for those other children of Gaia fighting a good fight and doing what they know they had to do in spite of their own ideals and accomplishing them by acting in spite of them, I would probably not respect them as I do. I'd probably have a far more negative impression of them. But, I mean, every tribe has their kind of hardcore contingent. I'm not so much, but I still hold to a lot of values in my tribe.
Gotta hold some values of your tribe, or else, there's no reason to be part of it, right?
Well, I have heard tales of Metis joining the Fianna to change it from within, because frankly, why else would a Metis join a Fianna unless they were bullied into it? In which case, the Fenrir would never have them, because they allowed themselves to be bullied around. Perhaps that's why we get labeled so easily, because we're never the victims.
I don't know, I do recall a story of, what was it? It might have been the sept that I was at. One of yours stole some fetishes and we beat him up pretty good. I'd say he was a victim.
Well, you were the victims of a crime a tribe mate of mine committed. And there's a bit of like, sort of, this fucker shaming my tribe, sort of like... If I met that asshole, he's stealing fetishes from another sept. Yeah, no, silver is involved. That's sabotage. That's espionage. That's not acceptable. Hell, that could be even construed as treason.
I remember it being, well, I guess the fact that I remember it means that it was beat into my head, but it was a while ago. 200 years, I think.
Yeah. I bet he was a fucking ragabash as well. I bet he thought he could just walk in. He's like, I can just do that gift which renders me near invisible and I'll be fine. Nope, asshole. It's not that easy. Hold yourself to a goddamn standard. If you're going to steal something, at least steal it correctly. Me, I'm not much for sneaking around. I'm okay at it. But I'm more upfront. And I'm better at parrying other people. It's one thing Gaelids are really good at. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's weird that we were talking about living in people's shadows and now we're talking about sneaking around, which is easier to do when you're in a shadow.
True. I suppose as a Galliard, I do live in the shadows of the Aruns of my tribe. My tribe calls Galliards skulls and Aruns Modi. It's a Norse thing. I need to learn that language. A lot of old stories are told in old languages that are out of date. Like, for example, the Fianna, like, obviously speak the pagan, the Celtic pagan languages. We find a lot of their Galliards do that because they need to be able to translate those old stories. You might even find the Galliards of your own tribe speak some sort of ancient Greek. I mean, there is... what do they call it? There's a term for it where language changes over time. And for example, you have Old English, you have Old English, you have like really Old English, which I can't even remember the name of because it's that old. Then you have Modern English, which is not modern English, it's Shakespearean. And now you have Current English, which is basically from the like late 1800s up to today. And even then, there's substantial differences. It's just in the way people speak and what they infer.
I'm sure there were plenty of tomes written in ancient Greek back at the Sept, but I was not particularly one for the library.
Speaking of which, ¿dónde está la biblioteca? Which is Spanish for where is the library?
No, she's giving you a blank stare.
Where is the library? 'Cause I know this set has one.
You are asking the wrong girl.
I guess when I find it, I'll drag you there kicking and screaming, because we need somewhere to hold precious documents, including these fire escape plans. Well, escape plans, but I'm just going to call them fire escape plans.
Held away in some dusty library. These can be hung up so that everyone can see them.
Gives you a bit of a stare. Well, we need to archive them. Like, if we only have one copy, they're gonna, like, if someone tears them up or does something stupid, or you have someone who starts a fire, because you'd be surprised how often that happens. Or someone just frenzies and tears down the signboard. So I'm still having a copy in that library.
Well, you can be in charge of that. Anyway, here's what I got approved by Fluffy Grandpa. And she'll unfold the little map out of her boxing bag, her workout bag.
He'll kind of like scoot on over and lean in. He's kind of looking at a map.
It's mostly for the kinfolk, but if we want to follow it, we can. It's very hard to get us to do anything. It's like, I would say it's like herding cats, but that wouldn't be quite right, would it?
Well, I mean, all the more reason to inspire more discipline. I mean, people should know this, especially the Garu, considering we're the ones in charge of, like, guarding this set. We want all the Guardians to know where these escape plans are. We want all the other Garu to know as well. I mean, Guardians first, but if we gotta herd cats, then I'm gonna herd the fuck out of those cats. I will not stop. I will fill every fucking hole so Binary cannot dig another.
Oh. I wish you luck.
It's getting to the point where I'm considering just, like, layering, like, this first, like, just going 6 feet under the entire steps and layering it with steel panels. Yeah. This looks good. You and Adelheid work on this together?
Yeah. This was actually his idea. I was in charge of maintaining the patrols, and he introduced the idea of a fire escape, so we worked on it together, but it was ultimately his idea.
Ah. This is really good.
I hope it is.
Looks pretty tactically sound.
The other part that was his idea was training the kinfolk.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to be a hand-to-hand combat instructor for some of the cubs.
Well, then perfect.
Yeah, I thought I'd teach him a thing or two about fighting, because, I mean, Binary can fire a gun, sure, and she's better at it than I am, but you got to be able to cover all bases. I suck at guns, but I'm going to learn how. Because eventually there will come a point where I have to use one. And one day I hope to earn a... well, don't tell Fluffy Grandpa this, because I'm not sure how he'd take it, but one day I hope to earn an iron hammer.
So you better start practicing with hammers.
Yeah. I'm okay at wielding one, but I still need to get better. Fortunately, my my mother up in the sky certainly knows how to throw those around. So, in a worst case scenario, that really requires it, I can still channel her. Yeah.
And I guess our next step is to gather some kinfolk for some training and schedule some kind of regimen for them.
Hmm.
See what their skills are and work on where they lack.
Yeah, I'm just very cautious when it comes to kinfolk. Ultimately, we're taking time out of their day, and they do a lot of important things for us. My tribe's never really had any issues with our kinfolk, but I know other tribes aren't always the same. I think we should be fine.
We'll start light. 3 days a week. Give them rest days.
Ease them into it. Last thing you want is kinfolk getting mad at us, and then there's a whole other conflict to deal with. Never happened in the history of my tribe, but I know it's happened to other tribes. Because they lead as much as it's easy to forget that kinfolk lead double lives as much as we do. And to be honest, I'm not really even doing that. We're guardians, so we're on sept a lot. We don't leave it that much.
I've never left my sept a whole lot, except when I was really young. I wanted to get out. I wanted to fight people that were closer to my level. Everyone was so much better than me.
Well, I mean, you found someone you can beat. That's something. But I'll make sure to return that favor one day.
I will hold you to that.
I'll be honest. I don't like... One reason I like the quest against the Thunderworm larvae is because they are actually a threat. Most Banes are boring because they're easy. Sure, you survive if you hunt the weak, but are you actually living? You're not going to get better if you don't get beaten up a few times. There's a saying for it, actually. Hunt the weak and you'll survive. Hunt the strong and you will live.
Well, some good news for you is I'm really good at getting beat up, so...
No, I don't want to hear that. I want to know that you're tough. You look tough, he pokes you.
Yeah, that's why I'm good at getting beat up. You have to know how to keep standing.
Oh yeah, I did that. Hopefully, over the next few months. I could take it to you mano a mano, or what would be like... He'll say the Spanish like mano y something woman. Because I don't know, I completely forgotten I've blanked on it. I feel bad.
That's all right. I am useless. I took Latin in high school.
Oh! I mean, that's great for learning Latin, not so much for building up a successful career in...
Exactly.
Anywhere. Oh, I feel bad now. I took Spanish. Fun. Well, I mean, it's obviously useful in California.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mucho gusto. ¿Cómo está usted?
Nope.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
Yeah.
Me llamo Abel.
That I know. That's my name is.
Ah, yeah. Well, I did say my name. It's like Je m'appelle. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows that one because they know it from school somewhere. So, tú no hablas español then?
Back in character.
That was in character.
Oh, I thought we were out of character. Yikes.
That's that in character. I'm just using Spanish phrases I know. I don't know a lot of Spanish phrases out of character, but I'm using the ones I do. I can teach you if you want. You're gonna run into it. You're pretty close to the border.
You are welcome to try.
I could probably make. I mean, I can make it fun. I can make it fun. I can sing you the Spanish alphabet. It'll be fun.
You were to ask any of my teachers back on my old SEP, they would say I'm hopeless. But recently, Sierra has been helping me with my rights, so it is possible, apparently, for me to learn things.
Oh,
which is
what rights
good
do you?
news.
What rights do you know?
The really easy ones. You got cleansing, talisman dedication, breath of Gaia, simple stuff that I should know but haven't.
Well, they're important rights. The only advanced one I know is the right of accomplishment, and that's because it's kind of critical to my auspice to be able to bestow renown upon people. And if a Gallia can't do that, then we're kind of screwed. It's not usual for someone of Cleaf to know a ton of rights. We just know the basic stuff and a couple more grander things. I mean, the Furges and the Philodox are better at it than us, but I intend to learn all the minor rights shortly. Hopefully, you can get that sorted by around the start of next month. Hopefully, it's pretty easy, but it's also a hassle.
I can help you with one of them minimally, but it's something.
The healing one, yes. Particularly useful if you do get that fatal blow. It could be the thing that saves your life.
Yeah.
The ability, because it's actually rather strange, it empowers the ability to heal, which is usually associated with calming abilities like the Mother's Touch. But it also empowers your rage. When you take that fatal hit and your rage sustains you, that right is going to be fueling that. Which is an interesting little... it's not a contradiction, but it is dealing in opposites in many ways.
Could be why it was a little bit easier for me to learn. I'm a little more familiar with rage than calm.
I mean, same here. I don't know. Maybe I can teach you. Maybe I hit you every time I give you a letter of the alphabet. But that sounds very, very harsh, even by my standards. So yeah, I think we'll just intersperse it for fisticuffs. But if I see you just looking, if you look too eager for those fisticuffs and you're just doing this so you can get more fisticuffs and more punch face, then we're going to be spending much more time learning Spanish already. It's the one thing I can offer you that perhaps is of importance, because you're clearly better than me at landing a hit.
For now.
I could teach you how to sing, but I'm not sure how useful that'd actually be to you in regards to your profession. I could always teach you about the history of the tribes.
You are always welcome to try. I cannot guarantee that any of it's gonna stick.
I'm exciting enough with I'm really okay. This is the one thing I'm good at, other than punching shit. You will be entertained by my stories.
I'll be entertained, but details and me don't we don't mix.
So long as you get the point.
I can maybe do that.
The message matters more than the details. So focus on the bigger picture. I'll make it easier for you.
That sounds easier, yeah. My sister had the opposite outlook. Well, my sister and our teachers.
I mean, I kind of do as well, but I'm compromising. But thanks for this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, sure. It's good to have another guardian. I was kind of lonely for a little bit.
Kind of same, really. Came for the set, but didn't really mesh well with it. Thanks.
And she'll hold out a hand for like a sort of like a good game shake, but like this is her way of sort of returning the thanks.
He'll shake the hand. Well, actually, how about this? Because I've already rambled on long enough. Charitably giving you all of the wisdom I can muster. How about we see if I can even a score right now?
You ready to go again?
Yeah. Let's go.
Tosses her towel to the side and stands up.
He kind of leaps up to his feet and has his fists up in the air now. Let's go. We can roll again, or we can just end the scene if you want.
I think that's a good place to end the scene.
Yeah, I think as they go at it once again, tussle and tumble, bish bash bosh, smack your face, smack my face. It's a good place to end the scene. Thank you, player, for playing, because there's only one of us, well, one of you. Thank you, well, me, but I'm not going to thank myself, that's arrogant. I'm doing this outro incredibly badly. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you next time on another episode of Scepter the Howling Winds. The sparring continues.